Fallout 4 New Vegas just released a brand new standalone mod. Now, for those of you who are unaware, Fallout 4 New Vegas is a huge project which intends to bring all of Fallout New Vegas into Fallout 4. By far, it is one of the most popular big modding projects out there right now, and this mod release is huge because that means we are one step closer to its release. This is another weapon under the books, ready to go, that is ready to be implemented into Fallout 4 and has a standalone release that you can try out right now. So if you want a taste of what Fallout 4 New Vegas is going to have in its final release mod, go ahead and try out this mod for yourself. So today we're checking out a brand new Trail Carbine mod thanks to an unclean hippie. Somehow, we are nearly 10 years into Fallout 4's lifecycle, and nobody has made a proper Trail Carbine mod. That is surprising. It is just a 44 lever-action rifle, but there isn't one that attempts to add one as a standalone brand new weapon. I've seen a couple of rechambers for the original lever-action, but that's about it. Now, this one is going to be a bit interesting because it's not going to be a one-to-one recreation of the one from New Vegas. Instead, it's going to be a one-to-one recreation of the real-life rifle that the New Vegas Trail Carbine is based on. So it's actually going to be more realistic and more correct than the one from New Vegas, because everything in New Vegas has a little bit of an artistic twist on it. So what that means is you're not only going to be getting a brand new Trail Carbine for your game, but one that's very, very high quality. And an Unclean Hippie is an excellent modeler and has spent a whole lot of time making sure every single detail is perfect. So this is a very high quality model. On top of that, it's going to come with some of the best animations out there because Cadaver made custom scratch animations for this weapon. So a brand new set of lever animations that we now also have for the modding scene. Not only for this weapon, but because it's from Cadaver, that means we'll probably be able to reuse them for new stuff down the line. And of course, this weapon is going to come complete with some custom attachments, a unique variant, and even level-less integration, which means you will be able to find this thing out in the world. If you'd like to get your hands on this fella, it will start spawning out in the Commonwealth after level 15. Again, this is going to be using 44 ammo, which is an awesome use for that ammo type since we only have the 44 pistol in vanilla. Now we have a rifle that will use it as well. Additionally, there is a unique version known as the Mare's Leg, which you can purchase from Cleo in Good Neighbor. More on that one here in a little bit. Altogether, this is a pretty dang good recreation of the Trail Carbine, although it is again going to be pretty much a brand new model for it. And it is even going to have some really cool extra options like different attachments as well as some different material swaps that the original one never had in New Vegas, so that is pretty dang cool. On top of all of that, this isn't the only weapon that's coming close to completion. There's actually a few other Fallout 4 New Vegas weapons that I believe are going to be hitting the floor pretty dang soon. Not only is this one out, but there's also some other ones that are being teased over in the Fallout 4 New Vegas Discord. So if you'd like to check that out, there is actually a link to that Discord over on the mod page for this mod. This mod will be linked down in the description if you want to try it out for yourself. And while you're there, you can of course check it out over on F4NV's Discord to get a look at some of the other stuff that's coming soon. Now then, I think we've covered a lot of the basics of this weapon. Let's go ahead and check this thing out in-game because there's some really important details we need to discuss, including the animations, the attachments, and some other finer details. But for starters, of course, we do need to talk about the stats of this guy. Now, I have this thing pretty much set up as close as it could be to the one from New Vegas. You'll notice that there are some small differences, like the colors of the metal are a bit more true to what they would look like in real life as opposed to the really dark black that they were in New Vegas. This thing is going to have a base damage of about 35. Now, this is going to be a bit different on my game because I have a whole lot of rebalancing mods on, so ignore my number here. I also have perks that up the damage quite a bit. The base damage is 35. This thing uses the 44 rounds, of course. Has a fire rate of 6 since it is lever action. It is a bit slower, I believe, than the vanilla lever action, which is perfectly fine because it spawns a lot sooner. It has a range of 197, an accuracy of 73, a weight of 9.6 pounds, and a value of 216 caps. And of course, this model is excellent. Just take a look at this thing. It looks incredible. A very, very nice, highly detailed model. I really like the checkering in the wood here, as well as just the general aesthetic of this thing. It looks fantastic, and it's got some really cool iron sights as well. A very, very unique profile that makes it stand out from the vanilla lever action. But that's not all. We also have a unique known as the Mare's Leg. Now, this doesn't have a magic legendary effect or anything like that. It is just visually distinct from the other one and has some other effects the way that a New Vegas unique would. In New Vegas, the uniques usually just had some stat changes and some visual differences as opposed to a fancy legendary like magical incendiary rounds or electrical damage. So this is the Mare's Leg. It is the only way that you can get a sawn-off stock, which is an interesting choice. You cannot actually put this on the regular Trail Carbine. If you want that, you're going to have to find the Mare's Leg, which also has a shorter barrel and a really nice set of metal here that is completely different from the other one. You'll see it's very, very fancy, super shiny, has a nice little bit of coloring to it as well. Another big change with this rifle is that it is chambered in 45-70, which is an interesting choice because I would expect a mare's leg to be in 44, but instead this thing comes in a full-length rifle cartridge, which is kinda crazy. It also is going to be a bit heavier, and it's going to have some other modified stats, and of course its value is going to go up as well. Again, if you want to find this one, it is one of a kind, and it is sold by Clio in Good Neighbor. Now then, let's talk about animations, as those are definitely the star of the show here. Let's go ahead and pull this thing out. This thing has a completely new set of animations, which are incredible. As you can see, very clean and very nice. And this thing is pretty dang accurate too. If you check it out over here at these targets, we're able to hit pretty much everything pretty dang easily. Even this little guy here should be no problem with some pretty clean iron sights. Now, while we're on the subject of iron sights, you'll notice that they are a bit interesting because the front post is a bit above the rear sight. That is just a very, very minor issue. If that does bother you, you can actually fix that already. There is already a patch that will raise those rear sights up so that it uses it a bit more correctly. Even though they are a little bit misaligned in that way, they're actually perfectly on target in terms of the front post. Since it is a video game, it doesn't super matter. So the front post actually does line up perfectly with everything you need to hit. So you will still be pretty dang accurate, even if those rear sights aren't lined up perfectly. But there is a fix for that already. Like I said, you can check that out as well. You just got to check the requirements section of the original mod. Now then, we are going to move to the weapon workbench to check out some of the attachments available for this guy. But before we do, there is something I did forget to mention. When it comes to the reload animations, this thing also does, of course, have bullet-counted reload support. So you don't have to reload the entire magazine tube at once. If you shoot a couple, you can reload it right there, which is really cool. You can always top this thing off, which is an excellent feature to have for a lever action mod. Now then, let's talk about the attachments. You'll notice that there aren't too many categories here. This thing is going to have a pretty limited selection of attachments. I would have loved to see more because I love customization options, but this is what we've got. Who knows, maybe we'll see an add-on or an update sometime in the future. Starting off with receivers, we have standard, all the way up through calibrated, powerful, and there is no advanced option for this receiver. So it is going to be a pretty standard set of damage upgrades that you would see in vanilla, just minus the advanced option. So calibrated powerful is definitely going to be your best option, giving you a huge damage increase, as well as better critical shot damage and accuracy. Then for barrels, we have the option for a short barrel, a standard barrel, a short light barrel, a long light barrel, and a long ported barrel. Now, it is nice that we have up to 5 options here. I do wish, though, that we had seen some more model variations because the ported and light versions are all actually the same model, kind of like they do in vanilla. It is a bit of a shame. I would like to see more options, maybe some sort of a fluted barrel with Hippie's ability to model really cool stuff. I think that would have looked amazing, but it's alright. It's still a pretty good set of options here. Then for sights, we have the option for an iron sight. We have a short scope, long scope, short night vision, medium night vision, and long night vision. No medium scope unless you're using night vision, which is another pretty interesting choice. And these are all going to share the same model yet again. Then we have the option to change out the different kinds of steel. So we have blued steel, forged steel, and hardened steel. The blued steel doesn't look super blue, but I'm going to guess that has a lot more to do with the preview menu. It looks a little bit more like a nickel plating or some kind of shinier, lighter option. The blue doesn't really come through quite as much as it should. But the forged steel looks really, really nice, and the hardened steel is a pretty interesting option too if you want a bit more color and pop on your gun. And then you'll notice that we don't have a stock section. That's something I mentioned already, that the short stock is only available on the mare's leg. I do wish we could have seen some other stocks, like maybe a marksman stock or recoil compensating, but that's all you get for this one. It is going to stay as is. It might have even been nice to see some different wood colorings, since we do have metal colorings, but for now, all you've got are these 4 sections with the options that I just showcased. No muzzle devices either. So yeah, guys, that is the Trail Carbine mod from Fallout 4 New Vegas. Thanks to an unclean hippie and cadaver for making this weapon. It is a pretty dang cool lever action rifle. The animations alone are an amazing reason to download this thing. They are super, super nice, super clean, and the model for this thing is absolutely incredible. So if you want to try this mod out, it will be linked down in the description as always. Additionally, If you enjoyed the video, consider dropping it a like. It really helps me out and lets me know what kind of videos you'd like to see. On top of that, if you'd like to support my work directly, you can do so using the link down in the description to check me out on Patreon. Whether you like the videos I make here on YouTube or the mods I make over on the Nexus, that is a great way to support me directly, but of course that is completely optional. With that, I hope you guys enjoyed as always, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace!